Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you're a returning subscriber. If you're not, my name is Natasha Vilaseca and I am a LinkedIn consultant. I'm uploading on YouTube around 3 times a week. I've become pretty consistent and I'm speaking about everything to do with LinkedIn lead generation, LinkedIn best practices, entrepreneurship, marketing, all that good stuff. So if you're not subscribed, then make sure you subscribe if you do enjoy this video and turn on post notifications if you want to get an alert each time I upload another video. So today I wanted to speak about a couple LinkedIn hacks that you can use on Sales Navigator. Now, Sales Navigator, if you don't have it, is basically like an advanced search tool that you can use to really get into lead generation if you want to take it seriously. If you are on LinkedIn to generate leads, then I would definitely say invest in Sales Navigator. I think it's just under $80 per month, but most of the people that are my clients or follow my channel, your products or services are probably worth more than $80 a piece. So the ROI is going to be huge even if you just get one client. So Sales Nav really just makes your life a lot easier. I've had it for about 3 or 4 years now. Without it, I don't know what I'd do. But I wanted to run you guys through a couple tricks and hacks and best practices that I do to make sure that I can find the most relevant prospects and to make sure that they're more likely to accept my connection request. So I'm gonna jump onto my laptop to show you all this stuff, and I'm gonna run through a couple different things that I do on an everyday basis, and this is what I also show my paying clients as well. So it's kind of like a behind the scenes. So the first thing that you wanna do is, for example, if we go onto Sales Nav, up here you have all filters, and then you can search for individual leads, so individual prospects, and also accounts, which is basically different companies and stuff like that, so pages. So what we can do is go into lead filters, and the first thing I like to do is put in the basic search parameters that I want to use. So for example, I could say I'm looking for people in the marketing and advertising industry who have a profile language written in English and are based in London, which is where I'm usually based. So let's say London, and let's say I always look for people who are owners of companies in between 11 to 50 employees, which is what company headcount is how many people belong in the company. So I've got over 2,000 results. You can see this will change as we add more things in, this number will get smaller. What you can do now is, so hack number 1 is using the when they became a member filter. So when they joined LinkedIn, and you can filter this through whether they're a very new member, so they just created an account, they created an account 2 to 7 days ago, 8 to 14, 15 to 30, 1 to 3 months ago. And this means that if I'm getting someone who's just created an account on LinkedIn within the past week or 2, chances are they've not received that many pitches yet. Because if you're going after someone that's been on LinkedIn for about 5 years, they probably get floods of messages every single day to their inbox. So this person has had fewer touch points. And it means that if I'm going to go in and initiate that conversation, they've probably got a lower guard down, and they're also looking to grow their network past that 500 connections point. So what I can do is I could filter it by people who are 1, 2 to 7, 8 to 14, 15 to 30, 8 to 14 days ago. This is a little bit too small. So let me go, I want to go up to like a month ago. Let me remove geographical location because that doesn't really matter for me because all my work's online. So 89 results, I can click search. So these 89 people are within the marketing and advertising industry, the owner of a company which is between 11 to 50 employees, and they became a member within the past month, and their profile language is in English. So all of these people, I know that if I request to connect with them, they're way more likely to respond to me, and they have a lower guard down because they're not used to people kind of just trying to take advantage. And this isn't a way to like, oh, this means you can go and pitch loads of people directly. That's not what I'm saying. If you are unclear about that, then go and watch this other video that I uploaded on my channel earlier this week, or it might be like 5 or 6 days ago now, which is best versus worst connection requests, just to hear my best practices. So go and watch that if you're thinking that this is a way for you to be like, fantastic, I'm gonna go and deliver straight long sales pitches to 90 people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's more likely that these people haven't been like saturated with outbound cold connection requests yet, so they're more likely to let you into the network. So that's the first hack. The second thing I want to cover is, if we go back in here, is you can search for people within the same groups as yourself. So say for example, I'm part of a group called digital marketing. So this group, and I want to have a look at people within this group who are second connections to me. So relationship, secondary connections, which means that I have one person in between me and them, which means they're more likely to accept me if we have people in common between us. And let me just narrow this down a little bit more. Let's say they're based in the UK. Search these people. And then because we've got a shared experience, so we're part of the same group, it shows that we have similar interests. So I know that they're more likely to be interested in the content that I post if they're interested in what's inside the marketing and advertising group. So I can then go and reach out to this person and say, hey, we're both a member of this group, would love to connect and keep on top of the content that you post. Also, like, feel free to suggest any kind of content that you'd like me to be producing. I'm always looking for new ideas. So that's something that I do quite a lot. I'm saying, obviously, you find the value inside this group useful, you're probably going to find mine useful as well. I don't say it out loud, but that's kind of the correlation that I'm going after. And then I'll ask them if they have any video requests, any content requests, stuff that I can post to make sure that our connection is valuable to them. And it's also leading in with the foot of saying, let me give you some value first. This is how I can benefit your connection to me. And then down the line, it's easier for them to come to me if they need help with LinkedIn, because I've opened in a way that isn't salesy, it keeps their guard down, and I'm just providing value, which means that when they see that content being posted, they're more likely to then engage with it as well, which is awesome. So that's the second thing. The third thing that you can do is have a look at profiles which are similar to your ideal prospect. So say for example, this guy Richard is the perfect prospect to me. What I can do is I can click on these three little dots and go on view similar. And sometimes it doesn't come up with any results, so we'll have a look. So no, none for him. But what you can do is you can have a look and find somebody who is an ideal prospect, go on view similar. And basically you will get a bunch of results that LinkedIn has associated which have similarities to that profile. So for example, similar people to John Horsley, there's 100 different results of people that are similar to him. So if he is an ideal, like stellar, just A-star prospect for me, then I know these people might be good fits as well. So it kind of gives me another segmented list aside from the one that we've just created inside Sales Navigator, and says, okay, well, if you're interested in this John guy, you might find these other 100 profiles interesting as well. So why don't you check these out? And I can go down this list and request to connect with these people as well. The other thing that I want to mention is if we go back to the lead list that we created, you can see that you can filter this list by a couple different things. So by people that changed jobs in the past 90 days. It also has another section which probably none of these people were, but if you've been mentioned on the news, it'll say that. You can also filter by people who have posted on LinkedIn in the past 30 days and people that share experiences with you, and it will show you what experiences they do share. So it's normally they're part of the same group and that's what you have in common, or it could be that you went to the same university, stuff like that. So that's just kind of giving you little icebreakers in order to start the conversation with somebody in a natural way with a commonality. So aside from that, the thing I want to focus on is this. So people that have posted on LinkedIn in the past month. And what I do is I use a method called the ECCC method. If you don't know what that is, then I would recommend checking out my case study video. Wait till you get to that part and take a screenshot, and then you can follow that method, which is the method that I use to reach out and connect with people when I'm doing cold outreach. To give you like the basics of it without going into all of the detail, because you'll see it in the video, is I like to engage with somebody's content before I request to connect with them. So what I could do is I could say, okay, all these people have posted. I could select all of these leads. It's only going to select this page though. So say for the sake of this example, I want to save all of these people to a list, create a lead list and call it the ECCC method. Create and save. Go onto my lists, go onto ECCC method, and then I've got all these people that I've posted on LinkedIn. So what I can do is I can go onto this list, open up all these people, view them on LinkedIn, and then what I can do is I can go onto their activity, go onto their posts or their articles, and go and read through a couple of their latest posts and leave a thoughtful comment down below. So like the post, leave a thoughtful comment, and after I've done that for a couple of days, then I'll reach out and connect with them, and I'll use a reference to the article or the post that I've engaged with previously throughout that week. So that's what I'll do the same thing. I'll go through all of the leads that I've saved under the ECCC method as a lead list, and I'll go and do this before I request to connect with them. And that basically means that your acceptance rate is going to be literally 10 times higher just because it's personalized. So you've gone from being a cold lead list to it being warm because you've had engagement and that person has interacted with you or you've interacted with them in some way. And a lot of the time when you go and engage with their content, they will actually end up engaging with yours because it's active reciprocity, or they will request to connect with you, which makes it inbound. So that's even better. So there are all the top kind of hacks / tricks that I use on LinkedIn to connect with people using Sales Navigator. I hope you guys found this video useful. It is a slightly shorter video, but I will probably do a big in-depth Sales Nav video soon, which is going to be a big one. So let me know down below what video requests or recommendations you have, and I'll make sure to try and film them to the best I can over the next couple of weeks. But aside from that, thank you for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.